All right, so out of respect for Ella, I didn't do a Friday update last week with the trial going on. Here we are. I want to start this video by thanking Scott, Emily, and Katie for the phenomenal work as assistant state's attorneys in prosecuting this case and making sure that the outcome was what we all expected it to be, and there was no surprises. They doggedly fought this defense team, which was stacked with every public defender they could possibly find. They had a giant legal team from the public defender's office. But again, there really wasn't much of a defense here. All of it was on video. It was pretty clear cut, but they still grasped at straws, came up with what ifs, hallucinations, and fantasies that this team absolutely was anticipating and had a response to show the jury how ridiculous all of this was, and there was only one explanation. So thank you to them. It just goes to show that the Cook County State's Attorney's Office is extremely capable and staffed with many great attorneys who could do the job if they were just allowed to prosecute crime in this county. Hopefully, that leads to better things come November 5th and beyond. I'll touch on that on Friday. But I also want to say thank you to the judge. She kept decorum in that courtroom. You know, there was a little nonsense the first couple hours of day one. She put a stop to it right away, and the rest of the week was great. But I especially want to thank the jury. The jury listened to this. They listened to the facts. They were not distracted by the nonsense and the what-ifs that the defense kept putting out, hoping that they can just confuse one juror, apparently, into getting a hung jury. So thank you for taking a piece of garbage off the street, a cold-blooded cop killer where he belongs. I will say that sadly, his brother will be probably out of jail later this year because politicians in Springfield decided through the Safety Act to eliminate felony murder 5 weeks before Ella was murdered. July 1st of 2021, that Safety Act eliminated the felony murder, which would have kept Eric Morgan in prison with his piece of garbage brother, where the two of them both belong. I'm challenging those same politicians to do the right thing. Right that wrong. You screwed up, and you screwed up big time. In Ella's memory, not to mention some others, because there's going to be another case coming up here with Ariana Preston and the multiple offenders in that case. Unfortunately, felony murder will not apply to them either. Do the right thing, put it back on the books, and admit you were wrong. Talk to the families, talk to the mothers. You have that obligation. They basically deserve that audience with all of you. We're going to try and facilitate that come police week. We shall see if they're going to do it or not. I will say one last thing. Friday update will be clearly lodge business, but specific to Ella and her memory. Elizabeth started a foundation, lighttheline.org. It is geared towards supporting law enforcement officers and their families in understanding the trials and tribulations that come with this job and this family obligations that sometimes get left behind. And this foundation is built on picking up the slack wherever possible for as many officers as possible. So, in Ella's memory, call it a challenge, call it a demand, call it begging. Every member of this police department, of any rank or even retiree, whether you're a subscriber to this channel or whether you're basically a member who can pass it on to other people, $10 in Ella's name to lighttheline.org, that foundation that Elizabeth runs in Ella's name, is not asking too much. We could easily raise well over $100,000 to get this thing off the ground, up and running as quickly as possible. I know I've talked to Elizabeth earlier today. She'd be extremely grateful for any donations, but let's throw a big number and really kind of get her rolling onto the next phase of her life and help her heal through helping other people, because she is such an amazing human being. She deserves it, and Ella's memory deserves it. I'll see you all Friday.